allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, please watch over us as we make decisions for the city. Guide us, help us, and instruct us. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. And we have some very special ladies with us this evening that have a program to teach us.
You're going to want to take roll call first.
And we've got to take roll call first. So,
Cowherd.
here.
Marble.
Here.
Elbert.
Here.
Venable.
Here.
Turner.
Here.
Stark.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Meadows. Here.
Okie dokie, go.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for inviting us. My name is Deanna Alonzo, and I serve as the CEO for the Central Missouri Foster Care and Adoption Association. About a month ago, I stopped by Mayor Beach's office to talk to him about a new resource in your community. In your packets in front of you, there is a map of the Family Resource Centers and Adoption Resource Center. They're used interchangeably to help you understand how the Family Resource Centers and Adoption Resource Centers work. The organization, our organization, started in 2007. I'm a former foster child out of the state of Missouri. I aged out of the system at the age of 18 and was homeless for several years. I came back to the state of Missouri and got a phone call overnight that my nieces and nephew were taken into Kentucky State Foster Care System. In about 7 months, we were able to bring them back home to Missouri, and then we adopted them finally in 2010. Even as a kinship aunt, it took us 4 years to adopt them. So in the midst of that, I created this organization out of the back of the trunk of my Cavalier. The organization started with a $500 donation and started to build up from beginning in backpack programs, a transitions program for older youth, and then we kept on going from there. In 2010, the organization was vetted as a Family Resource Center, Adoption Resource Center through the state of Missouri. We have 3 Family Resource Centers / Adoption Resource Centers in the state of Missouri. Foster Adopt Connect, based out of Independence, Missouri. Foster Care and Adoption Coalition, based out of Brentwood, Missouri. And then our organization, based out of Jefferson City, Missouri. We have offices in Osage Beach, Rolla, Jefferson City, and Columbia. In the next few years, we will be doing fidelity and assessments within the other communities that we brought into our service array. We have now 11 additional counties besides the 13 counties that we've been serving since 2007. So altogether, we now have 24 counties, including Cooper County. So in your packet, you'll see some statistics that I want to bring your attention to. And then I've brought my Chief Program Officer, which is Rhiannon Franklin, and Chief Development Officer Rachel Blackmore to talk to you a little bit more. But first I want to talk a little bit about what we see in your county as we've taken kind of a review of it. So we have 30 children in care as of 2021. The numbers are growing due to the pandemic and some loss of foster homes within your community. The majority of the children that come into care are due to physical abuse and neglect. There are some county statistics that we also pulled up in the amount of foster homes within your communities as compared to the 30 children in care. And there are 3 foster homes, there are 5 relative homes, and there's 1 career level home. So you see that it's off balance just a bit. Our organization provides an array of services that Rhiannon is going to talk to you about that will help the foster, adoptive, and kinship families within your community and help them with everything from beds and dressers to ongoing training, continuing education units, and also mitigating long-term exposure to foster care through our 30 Days to Family program and also our Extreme Family Finding program on the back end of foster care to help youth like me who aged out of foster care so that they're not homeless, incarcerated, or dead due to substance abuse issues. We are here to help. That's why we're here. We will do whatever we can to support your community. I promise you that. You can call me directly, or you can call Rhiannon or Rachel, and we will make sure that we take care of the families that you come in contact with. And so without further delay, Rhiannon, would you like to take over?
Hello. First, I want to say when Deanna told me that I was going to be able to come here, I actually grew up around this area. So, Whitney, we're alum from the same school, from Slater. So, I was actually happy whenever she told me that we were covering the counties up around this area, because this is kind of where I came from. I'm actually in Osage Beach now. But as she said, I am the Chief Program Officer, so I oversee all of our programs that we have within CMFCAA. She stated that the Beginning and Backpack program was kind of where it all started. So what we do is any child that comes in a home that is either removed from like CD, so formal placement, or informal placement. Informal placement can just be grandma, grandpa, a coach taking a kid. We will provide them with a backpack that just gets them started. So it'll have clothing, gift cards, hygiene products, underwear, socks, just that start. And if they need more, we will have clothing closets at all but our Columbia location, but we have availability to get clothes that they need free of cost to them. The other program that she talked about was 30 days. 30 days is if a child is removed, all that program does is for 30 days, they try to find at least 80 family members for that child to go to, and at least 4 stable, background vetted, completely proofed through our system, relative homes for Children's Division or contracted agency to be able to place that child in the home. Our goal is always to place with relatives first, and then if none are found, they will go to what we call stranger foster homes. We have a training department. We do still need foster homes. We know that because not every child has a relative willing and able to go to. So we have a whole department that trains foster, adoptive, and kinship families. We recruit foster parents. We recruit respite parents. We look for community events to be able to do that. Just actually on Friday, I connected with the farmers market here to be able to provide that as a service to families in this area, that we will provide a voucher to families that will be able to go to your market and get food. We also have a kinship navigator, so that works with formal and informal caregivers that are kinship. So that could be that relative or coach or aunt, uncle caring for that child. They will provide tangible items. It can be utility assistance, rental assistance. We will connect them to community resources. It's kind of just, we work with, I think it's 17 domains to stabilize that family so those children either don't enter care or re-enter care. Our EFF, which is coming on brand new, it works with those children, as she stated, either they've been in care a while or older youth that families typically can't bring in because of higher needs. And we will look to find families on the back end and search for those families. Basically, we have an investigator and a family finder, and that investigator is like a private investigator, and they search. And we don't stop in the U.S., we will search other countries for family members. The last one that we're bringing in is an adoption arm. We know that adoptions can disrupt, and those families don't feel as supported as they need. So in that, we will have advocates. There will be a mental health, education, and family advocates. So people that can help navigate those systems for them and help if we have to go rewrite their subsidy and help them with that at a state level, those advocates will be able to do that. So, have any other questions of our programs?
Questions?
Yes.
Yeah, Andrew.
In Cooper County, there was 30 children in care for 2021. Where's that looking for 2022?
So we don't have those numbers. We base those numbers off of Children's Division annual report. And so we haven't gotten the annual report out yet because we know that just ended. Typically, they get it to us closer to the end of the year. I can ask for that number and get it to any of you. They will be able to provide it quickly. Yes.
I assume the need for foster kids, that's growing, I assume, every year.
It
You
is.
see it grow. Do you know why is that? What's generating the growth from the need for foster care?
Yeah.
So like I mentioned before, it's typically due to physical and sexual abuse and neglect. Sometimes that has to do with, preponderance of evidence from the juvenile office and the court systems, and so those kiddos are removed because of that. So the Children's Division doesn't remove children, the juvenile office and the courts do. And so when there is a removal, that's what happens with those. And so the majority of the kiddos in Cooper County is due to that physical abuse and neglect. Now, the neglect factors can be varied upon situation. So I'd be interested to know where the neglect falls within Cooper County so that we can work on that too. So if the kiddos don't necessarily have to be removed from their home, then maybe we can figure out how to keep them in their home. So we can probably work on that all together.
Thank you.
Yeah. Any other questions? Good questions.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Sorry, just no. You commented that it took 4 years to adopt your nieces, or whomever it was.
Yeah, nieces and nephews.
Is that typical?
So it is. What happens is that the courts get backed up, and Rhiannon could probably talk about this. She served in the juvenile office for 11 years. But what happens is if you have an interstate compact case like mine, through the state of Kentucky and through the state of Missouri, neither state wanted to take responsibility for the kiddos. And so you have to work through an interstate compact for the states to work together to determine who's going to be responsible for that child. In addition to that, we only have so many GALs out there in the counties, in the community. So I'd be interested to see how many Cooper County has, to see what the timeline is for adoptions.
That's the guardian at lien? Is that what that is?
Guardian ad litem.
Okay.
To see if the county or if the city needs additional guardian ad litems to do those type of workings through those adoptions. We certainly want to get them through permanency and not have them wait 4, 6, 8 years because it's just not it's not conducive to their trauma. They really need to have that permanency so they don't feel like they have to move, have pillow changes over and over. In my case, I went from foster care, foster home to foster home to foster home, and then went into residential treatment and then aged out from residential treatment. So there is the truth behind foster care to prison pipeline, in which our Community Connections Youth Project program that works with youth ages 17 to 26 who have transitioned or are transitioning or have transitioned out of care, to wrap around them so that they're not alone. Sometimes they just don't have family, and what happens in the case of me, you become homeless and then have to work yourself to the place of trauma recovery. What we want to do is really help those youth not to get to that, and mitigate exposure out there to those situations. And then also, if we can get permanency for older youth beforehand, that would be the optimal situation.
Great, thanks.
Yeah, we have been going on 3 years now on trying to adopt as well. So we're at, she said Osage, you were obviously in Jeff City. What's the local person for us if we were to try to get a hold of somebody?
Yeah, so the numbers that are in your packet, you can call us. We work mobily. We have 80 plus employees, and we will get to you as fast as we possibly can. Our adoption arm will probably assist you, the family advocate, to try to figure out what the holdup is for you. So before we leave, I'll have Rhiannon give you her card, and then we'll stay in contact with you to see exactly what's happening with that. Plus, if there's any other adoption issues out there within your guys' community, please let us know.
Ooh, that was quick. Good for you, Si. Anybody else?
So I'll have Rachel talk a little bit more, and then I'll close.
Thank you.
I just want, I've been on the job 2 months.
She put me on the spot. I didn't know I was going to be talking tonight. So I wanted to tell you guys that we are, number one, we have started an ad campaign all over our 24 counties to try and recruit more foster and adoptive parents. So know that we're doing more than just showing up here and asking you to hear about what we're doing and all of that. We're working to try and find more foster and adoptive parents all over our 24 county area. But we also are working to just get our name out in these new counties where we are kind of introducing ourselves. And I know we came here to Cooper County back in May, but we're coming back in September, and we're hosting an event out at Cooper's Ridge on September 27th. And we're going to invite as many members of the community that can come to that event. It's from 4:30 to 6. We're calling it Cocktails and Conversation. You can have a cocktail, some appetizers, but more importantly, you can meet more people from our staff, especially in our Columbia office. They'll be there so they can talk about what it is that they do. We're hoping to get a family there that we have helped in some way, so you can hear firsthand the work that we have been doing in and around the counties that we have been in, and the hope then that we can provide those same types of opportunities here in Cooper County as well. So I just wanted to let all of you know about that event coming up on the 27th of September. It's from 4:30 to 6 at Cooper's Ridge. There's no cost to attend. We just ask you to come, invite your friends, and learn more about what it is that we're doing and how we want to be a partner in the Cooper County community.
We ask that you email the board close to that event.
Yep.
I mean, it's a few months out. So,
Yeah, we will.
but definitely email and invite us.
Yep, we can do that, no problem. All right, thank you. Keep it on the clock. So again, thank you for allowing us to come and speak today. Mayor Beach, thank you for allowing me to come and sit with you, talk to you about my story, and then also about the good work that CMFCA does. It's a pleasure to give back to the state of Missouri. It's also a pleasure to stand in front of you as a success story, because there are many. And so I'm here to help in any way that I can, and thank you so much for the opportunity.
We thank you a bunch. Anybody else for public comment? Okay. Approval of the minutes of July 18th, 2022, page 3 through 6. Any corrections? And they shall stand as submitted. Thank you. Consent items. Consider pay request order number 5 from Grace Trucking and Excavating in the amount of $108,612.40 for Morgan Street, Alpine Drive, stormwater improvements. Is there a motion? Thank you, Mike. Second? Thanks, Whitney. Questions, comments?
How many more payments do we have on this?
This is the final one.
This is it.
Final one.
Final
We're
one.
done.
We're done.
Final on both of them, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Great.
Has everybody seen it?
Yes. Very nice.
That's freaking, it is impressive.
It's a good write-up in the newspaper.
Yep. Roll call.
Howard,
Yes.
Norwell,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Stott,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Item B, second reading. Excuse me. Item B, consider pay request order number 7 for Rad Baker Construction LLC in the amount of $26,729.72 for Kemper parking improvements.
Mayor, make a motion to approve this.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Who got the second?
Barry,
All right, thanks, Barry. Questions, comments? So this is final?
Also done.
So everything's done at the library, it's just waiting for them, what's the,
We are finalizing the legal description. If you remember back when we first did the agreement to swap the properties, so we'll just wait on defining a legal description around the local library center just to make sure we've got enough. So we're finishing that up, and then once that is done, we'll have a closing date and we'll swap properties, and I think they've already got their work started on doing some of the interior work.
Okay.
Roll call.
Coward,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner.
Yes.
Stock,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Thank you. Presentation of accounts and claims. It's on page 13.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the council of the city of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the city of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on August 1, 2022. The sum of $573,193.75. General fund, $256,344.78. Sanitation, $25,090.98. CIP tax, $12,361.13. Waterworks, $121,732.95. Capital projects, $32,452.63. Wastewater, $65,234.58. Tourism, $9,973.44. Gaming, $48,807.98. Parks and Water, $485.28. Timber sales tax, $710.00. Economic Development Projects, $0.00. Section 2, the accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank account in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $573,193.75, being the total amount of money being appropriated. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading on August 1, 2022, read for the second time this August 1, 2022, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I make a motion that we pay these accounts and claims.
Thank you, Susan. Second? Mike? Roll call.
Howard,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Motion passed. Item 7, unfinished business. Third reading of bill number 2022-017, approving a rezoning application for 1290 Locust Street.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri approving the rezoning application for 512 Investments located at 1290 Locust Street.
That was the second.
What?
You read the second, you read item B instead of A.
Sure, 1290 Locust Street.
Okay, gotcha. Motion,
Mayor, make a motion to approve this.
thank you, Whitney. Second?
Mike.
Mike got it? Okay. Questions, comments? Roll call.
One second. I know I looked this over and stuff. They're placing a warehouse out there, right? Or is it
That's what's in the preliminary plan, yes.
preliminary? Okay. Go ahead, sir.
Yep, okay. Anybody else? Roll call.
Howard,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Item B, second reading of bill number 2022-018, approving a preliminary site plan for 512 Investments located at 1290 Locust Street. That's the same one I just read.
This is the preliminary.
This is the site plan. Right,
This is 18.
okay.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri approving the preliminary site plan for 512 Investments at 1290 Locust Street, Boonville, Cooper County, Missouri, providing an effective date therefore and repealing all ordinances in conflict with this ordinance.
Questions, comments?
Yeah, can somebody take us through this bill? I'm not real sure what we're doing here. What is this?
This is a preliminary site plan for 1290 Locust Street. It was put through planning and zoning back on June 14th.
Right.
And it met all of the standards that we have in place for development. And so, but it still requires approval, but it's preliminary. And when they're ready to come back, they'll do a final site plan, but that could be several years from now, is our understanding from the developers.
So we're voting on a site plan that we not seen at this point?
No, it's already gone to planning and zoning, and it was in your last packet. The plans would have been in
Okay,
it.
okay.
Mayor, make a motion to be approved.
Thank you, Whitney. Second?
I second that.
Steve got there first. Roll call.
Howard,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Item 8, new business. Item A, consider resolution number R 2022-11, authorizing and approving an agreement with Emery Sapp and Sons for Fox Hollow Street paving. It's on page 14, 15.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing and approving an agreement between Emery Sapp and Sons LLC and the City of Boonville, Missouri pertaining to Fox Hollow street paving and providing an effective date therefore. Whereas the City of Boonville has solicited and received bids for this project and determined that Emery Sapp and Sons LLC represents the best bid pursuant to the purchasing code set forth in section 2-20 of the City of Boonville Code of Ordinances. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that a certain agreement between Emery Sapp and Sons LLC and the City of Boonville, Missouri relating to Fox Hollow Street paving, a copy of which is marked Exhibit A, is attached hereto and made a part hereof, is hereby approved. Section 2, that the city administrator and the city clerk are hereby authorized to execute and test said agreement on behalf of the City of Boonville. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval. Passed this first day of August 2022 by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri.
Thanks. Well done. First reading. Got a motion? Susan's got the motion. You got the
Make a
second,
motion
Andrew?
We approve this resolution.
I'll
Andrew's got the
second.
second. Okay. Questions, comments?
Kate, where does this fall, this 505,000, where does this fall to where we had projections?
It's actually, I looked back, his bid was dang near spot on. I think his was like 485, which considering that was back in December, I think that's pretty good.
Steve?
Is that 500 feet? How much distance is
It
that?
was 2,000 feet? What?
Yeah. I'd have to go
Or
back
is
to
it-
him,
or
I
is
can't
it-
remember. This is the road that is the main road coming into the.
And this is the,
And
this is the full
first-
length, or just the first piece?
There's first piece on
Two
this.
pieces,
1,400 feet.
1,400 feet?
Yep.
And then we'll come back and do another like 700 or feet or
Right.
Yeah,
something.
it was around 2,000 total?
Okay.
So it's roughly 14, yeah, total,
Total.
yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Who's paying for the initial grading out there? Because this doesn't seem like the grading that's
That's
been
Fox Hollow. Troy Thurman is doing
Troy
that.
Thurman's doing
going.
the
I just knew
grading.
we were putting in the road, so
Yep.
he's paying for that grading.
Yep.
Currently, okay.
Do a lot of grading.
Is all the concrete sourced from the temporary plant that's out by the golf course today?
That'll be up to the contractor.
Okay, it will be, okay.
Yep.
It'll be up to the contract. I don't think it's coming from there. That's for the bridge.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's specifically
Yeah.
for the
Oh,
bridge.
okay.
We got a
My
contractor
mistake.
to load out on that.
Okay.
Okay. Anything else? You got any comments?
No, sir.
Okay.
Except it's a good bid. I mean, it's a low bid compared to the other two. Very fortunate.
They did really well on the bridge over there too.
Pardon me?
They did really well on the last work that I saw that
Yes,
Emery
Emery
Sapp and
Sapp and
Sons
Sons
did.
is a good contractor.
Any reason why it came in so low? I mean, it's 623,000.
No, they were shocked also,
Yeah.
from what I heard.
We'll take it.
That's a
Yeah.
good, yeah, that's probably a good sign.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Roll call.
Howard,
Yes.
Marvel,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Passes. Item B, consider resolution number R 2022-12, authorizing and approving an agreement with Vance Brothers for chip and seal street repairs. It's on pages 16 and 17.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing and approving an agreement between Vance Brothers Incorporated and the City of Boonville, Missouri pertaining to chip and seal street repairs and providing an effective date therefore. Whereas the City of Boonville has solicited and received bids for this project and determined that Vance Brothers LLC represents the best bid pursuant to the purchasing code set forth in section 2-20 of the City of Boonville Code of Ordinances. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that a certain agreement between Vance Brothers LLC and the City of Boonville, Missouri relating to the chip and seal street repairs, a copy of which is marked Exhibit A, is attached hereto and made a part hereof, is hereby approved. Section 2, that the city administrator and city clerk are hereby authorized to execute and attest said agreement on behalf of the City of Boonville. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force and after its passage and approval. Passed this first day of August 2022 by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri.
Is there a motion?
Mayor, make a motion, we approve this resolution.
Thank you, Whitney. Thank you, Mike.
Hey, I got a question. I mean, what's the reasoning behind this? I mean, can we not do the repairs ourselves? I don't understand.
We're not capable of chip and seal.
Can I just, yeah, I mean,
We had a comprehensive, larger package where we did asphalt and chip and seal.
right,
Chip and seal is a rock with an emulsion asphalt on top, and it just coats the top and fills in the cracks,
okay,
all right? We got no bidders. All the asphalt companies are way too busy. So we took out the chip and seal because we went to the one supplier we knew, Vance Brothers out of Kansas City, that does chip and seal. We took the component out, we quick bid it, and we got a bid just for that component.
okay.
So we're gonna have to go out for bids in January in order to get ahead of the game because we were late to the party this time.
Okay. I just didn't understand why, I mean, if it was something that we could do in-house or have
Not
to
chip
bid
and
it.
seal, no.
Got it, all right.
In the second column there, you've got engineer estimate. What is that in reference to? Both are estimates, right? Is that right?
No, the engineer's estimate is what we put together up front to give you an idea what it's gonna cost. And in this case, we pretty good in the fact that Vance Brothers came in under our estimate.
Almost 9,000.
So that's their actual bid.
Huh?
Yeah, the 49,000 is the bid.
Often, Albert, when we're working with Scott, and we're starting to look at a project, he gives us, some estimate number because we decide whether it's too big and maybe we need to parse it out, or if we want to do an alternate. So there's always an engineer estimate for us to use for a budget number and decide whether or not it's capable, or if we think we can do more. Sometimes that
Exactly.
happens.
Yeah, I still struggle a bit, and I've said this in the session before, I still struggle a bit with professional people, constructors, looking at a project, looking at the same thing, and the bids can come in $9,000 difference. I just don't understand that, how that happens.
That's the name of the game.
What's
Some
that?
contractors don't have as much work, they sharpen their pencil, they want it, keep their people busy. Other contractors have too much work, and in the big asphalt project, none of the contractors wanted it, because they all are too busy. There's a
But
lot of
you
money
don't
out there in the
think
economy
that's,
right now.
As the quality of the job is not,
No, as long as you get a good contractor, and we vet the contractor, we make sure the contractor is a reputable contractor, and we've kicked a contractor out, as you all know, because we didn't feel they were reputable. And as long as we vet them, we should have a good contractor that's capable of doing the job. Steve?
Steve, on this, it looks like Vance Brothers are just a little more mobile than the engineers thought they were.
Yeah.
We've used them for other stuff like that
Yes.
before, Vance Brothers. if
Oh,
I'm not-
they're the only chip and seal, slurry seal contractor who will
Yeah,
come to
they
Boonville.
did, but I know what you mean.
What, how much street foot, or how much does this cover? What is this going, what's the first phase? What does this entail? How many streets, how many feet?
Well, it's a lot of little patchwork all over town.
Okay.
There's no one big street that you're doing it on. It's patching throughout the community on,
Okay.
deteriorated areas
Okay.
that need to be patched.
I'll just make a comment that, this year we're gonna try, typically, if you remember, we do the street drive-through in, February or March and prepare. It's obviously works better with our budget cycle, but, given, I think this a couple times we've had not enough bidders and the weather delays us or whatever, so we are gonna try to drive the streets, I think, in October and make preparations, so we'll still, probably the number will be about the same. We haven't really changed how much we invest in our streets. We've increased it incrementally as our revenues have increased, but that bid will already be going out before the next budget cycle. So it'll just be a little bit different timing than what we've normally done.
And you're not unique. The university, we had a bid come from the university and we received no bids there either on asphalt work. And they had a much larger project.
Anybody else? Roll call.
Coward,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Scott,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Item C, first reading of bill number 2022-019, approving a rezoning application for 213 East Ashley Road. It's on page 18 and 19.
An ordinance of the City of Boonville, Missouri approving a rezoning application for Top Dog Training LLC located at 213 East Ashley Road.
Okay. Item 9, reports of standing committees. Historic Preservation Commission, page 20.
Cheryl's here.
Hi, Cheryl.
Hi. For those of you who don't know me, I'm Cheryl Gates. I work for the city in tourism at the Visitor Center, and I'm also the chair of the Historic Preservation Advisory Commission. I'm sorry, I've had a cold, so it's going to be a little hard to talk, but I'll try to get through this. You've got this paper in your packet, and I won't read all of it because you do have it in front of you. But basically, as a Preservation Commission, we have found that we've been a little misunderstood. People think that we're just going to come in and tell them what they can do to their homes or to their businesses or whatever, and that's not the case. But we also don't have a lot to do. So we would like to change our focus to revitalization, and especially in the downtown area. We're hoping to become the trailblazers that will bring this town back to the vibrant city that it once was by maintaining its history while looking towards the future. This town is growing and will continue to grow. I have personally witnessed what can happen to a small town that is a short driving distance to a larger city. So revitalization done now and done right will not only preserve what has been built here, but also enhance it to keep up the changes that are inevitably coming. If you haven't heard of the term placemaking, this is a revitalization term and this is what it means to me in regards to Boonville. Placemaking means transforming or creating public spaces to encourage people to stop and spend time enjoying the area. Placemaking is revitalization centered on people and their needs, aspirations, and visions of what a small town experience should be. Placemaking is also one of the most impactful things a city can do for a downtown area and for its longevity. Most people think of placemaking as creating public art, and this is fine, but when most people think of public art, they think of murals on buildings for photo ops or any old-time scene of the town back in its heyday, or statues of founding fathers, or mothers in our case, and memorial parks. We have all that, but when I think of placemaking, I think of freshly painted buildings and signage, colorful and decorative awnings to catch your eye, a stage for music and entertainment, and outdoor seating for that, and resting places. That would be like benches in appropriate places in the downtown area. I think of planted areas along the sidewalks and not just flowers in the spring, but perennial grasses and plants that will still look interesting in the winter and come back every year. I do also think of murals, but more along the lines of past, present to future. Some of what built the town, some of what the town has and can become. Revitalizing the downtown area will instill a sense of civic pride. It will give that feel-good effect, bring residents to the downtown area for more than just a parade every once in a while, and it will boost economic growth. The downtown area must be inviting if we want to encourage new business and inspire investment in our community. It will also bring tourism, which brings retail revenue. I believe that Boonville can become a thriving, interesting destination that will make people want to come check us out. A place where you can not only see the Budweiser horses, a couple of museums, and some old homes, but also get a great meal, a good cup of coffee, and shop for a variety of unique gifts, clothing, and products, and be greeted with the friendly hometown hospitality that Boonville's not known for. We have most of this, but we don't have the eye appeal. Our downtown business district needs a facelift. It needs repairs, it needs color, it needs our help. I heard a statement recently that said if you ignore it, it dies, and downtown Boonville has been ignored for far too long. I realize that this is not going to happen overnight, and we also realize that we can't do this alone. This is going to take a community effort in time and money. Even if we are or are not the owners of these buildings, we are the guardians of these spaces, and it will be beneficial to everyone once the work is complete. The community needs to realize that this effort will impact their bottom line through not only retail sales, but the sales tax this generates for the city and increased property value and demand. Revitalization drives tourism and stimulates the economy. Revitalization injects the sense of place and home that is priceless. So what we would like to ask this council's blessing and support in this effort, and appreciate any words of wisdom and or monetary assistance that might be available that you might consider in your next budget. We do have a preliminary plan that's in the packet also, but I'd like to add that we would like to create a committee including the Chamber of Commerce, Economic Development, and any other group or organization who would like to help us out. We're going to contact all of the property owners and business owners in the downtown area, explain to them what we're doing, what we would like to do, and how we can help them. We'd like to inform the public by advertising in the paper, radio, with posters and flyers. I'm already working on 2 different surveys, one for the residents, asking what would bring them downtown more often, and one for the owners and merchants about what their wants and needs are. We'll create a list of craftsmen for window replacement, painting, installing awnings, anything, signs, anything that's needed, so that when a project does come up, we'll already have a list of people that we can call to get those done. And also we'll get estimates on from those people also, so that when we apply for grants, we can put that in our grant application. We already have a Missouri Humanities Council has 4 a year grants that we can apply for. Then we're already going to do the November one that's coming up next. And we've got some others that we're looking at also. That's going to be where most of our funds come from, is the grants that we apply for. And we'd also like to do some, we've done a couple of fundraisers, which, because it's been, over 100 degrees most days, we haven't raised a lot of money, but hopefully this fall and maybe in the spring we can do more. And that will give the residents a sense of ownership for this this effort also. We'll apply for grants, and then we can do a re-grant to different owners of the buildings so that they can get the work done. We'll have an application process, and then the committee will decide, make a list of the projects by importance, get the most important ones, the most needed ones done first, and then just work through as the funds become available. I like to look at this as a build it and they will come type project. If the downtown business district is going to be successful, the entire area must be aesthetically pleasing. Empty spaces will never be filled if prospective merchants and such feel that there would be too much work to be done before they can move in, and therefore the building owners aren't receiving any rent to provide the revenue needed to fix up their properties. In the end, it is a win-win proposition. The building owners will get help fixing up their property, and the prospective merchants won't mind paying rent for move-in ready space, and leaving the business owners with extra income because of the rent that they're receiving for future renovations and repairs. So with that, I ask for your help, for your support, and any comments or questions?
Yes, Susan.
I would like to add my support to the efforts. This is a big undertaking.
Yes, it
and
is. And like I said, it won't happen overnight. It will probably be 2 or 3 years before it all gets done.
Right.
But if we don't start now, when will we start?
Yeah, and not to insult Main Street, it just looks a little tired. I was in a very small town in Kentucky not too long ago with a smaller Main Street, but oh my God, the storefronts were all painted. And they made you want to go in and see what they were about, and I'd like to see that happen for Boonville.
And that's going to be one of the survey questions to the residents, as if you've been to another small town, what did you like about it? What did you see there that might work here, or you might want here? We need to get our own residents back downtown, and then we'll get the tourism people down here working for tourism and working right on the Katy Trail. We have 6,000 to 8,000 people that come through on the trail that never make it downtown. They go through the trail, they go around town, they go across the bridge, and they're gone. If we can make our downtown look inviting, they'll get to that bridge and look up the street. We can even have a sign there that says, visit our downtown merchants, or whatever we want it to say. But they can look up the street and say, hey, this is a cute little town, let's stop here for a minute. And I know a lot of them won't, because they're on a time schedule too. But I think it would just help that our town looked better to get, even a fraction of those 8,000 people to stop and take a look at us. Yes, sir.
I certainly agree. I read your write-up twice because I couldn't believe. This is one of the things that I've been talking about for 10 years, and you said it so nicely in a page and a half.
Thank you.
And it's just really right on spot, right on target here.
Thank you. It was only one page, and my husband read it and said, could you be just a little bit more passionate? And I was like, yes, I can.
I just think this is really what we need, especially some of the small towns have a bypass. They build an interstate bypass, but our traffic goes right through Main Street, right down the center of the town. And we need to look sharp.
Yeah, we do. And right now we don't.
And right now we don't.
And like I said, a lot of that isn't the building owner's fault. It's not the merchant's fault. It's just having that income to get that done. And I know a lot of them just don't have that. So whatever we can do to help, I don't think that we need to do it all for them, That's why I think a grant program where we do like an 80-20, or, something very simple that, they have to pitch in something, but we can do a lot for them.
Absolutely. Well, you certainly have my support and whatever support I can lend on
Well,
this. I
thank you
just
very
think it's a
much.
great
Like I said, if
project.
you comes up next budget and you might be able to fit us in somewhere, we would appreciate that too. But we just wanted to let you guys know what we were wanting to do and hoping that we could go on from here.
I did have a pointed question. Your preliminary or the revitalization initiative says that projects by importance, diner mural should be first. Or is there a specific target that you're looking at? And then I assume you guys are just going to redo the mural, or what does that mean?
Yeah, the diner mural would like to be our first project. We've talked to Peggy Guest, who did the mural originally. I've talked to Greg Bloom, who is doing the murals on the bakery right now, hoping to get those two together to work on the project and give us an estimate of how much it would be, because that would be where we would spend our first grant if we get, and that's what we're going to be asking for, is for that wall to be replaced or redone. I don't think it will be redone in the way that it looks now, and Peggy understands that too. And it would be a whole lot easier to do it on like metal panels that we could hang onto the building, so that if the building ever needs to be worked on, they can come down and it won't mess up the mural itself.
But it is pretty much the first thing people see when they drive down the bridge.
Yeah, you come across that bridge is the first thing you see, so that will be the first thing we wanna work on.
In the same breath to that, I think one thing that Boonville really has that is unique is the old advertising pieces that are painted on the buildings. And
The
there's
ghost
some, I'm
signs that we-
thinking, on Morgan Street and then on Court Street
Yeah.
by the sheriff's office that.
And we might want to add a few too.
Right,
We've got, some sides of buildings that are real prominent when you come up the other way, up Main Street.
Yeah,
that-
so, or like the Bull Durham sign, I think is
the-
an amazing piece,
amazing
and it's in
piece.
really good shape. But there's some other ones that are really neat. That just might be a recommendation. On
In
some of
that,
this.
there's a Dr. Pepper
one
at
at
Wrigley or
yeah, a few-
something.
There's several that
Those two really need to be redone because they would stand out. And we've talked about that too, because I don't think they need to look new. I'm hoping that we can do something to make them to stand out and still look aged, if that makes any sense. And we have enough artists around here that can make that happen. So, anything else?
I just want to commend Cheryl because I think, 2 years ago, I brought historic preservation to her. I was like, do you have time for this? Because I don't have time, and it had kind of fallen into a committee. There are certain things that the committee will continue to do so that we maintain our certified local government status, but I love the direction, and I'm excited to have some new energy there because I think they do have incredible capacity to lead that preservation movement in a way that doesn't feel like the preservation police, because that's never been our intent.
And that's what everybody
Thank you.
thinks of us as, the preservation police. So, and you don't want to be that. We want to be the ones that help everybody. So,
All right, thank you, Cheryl.
well, thank you.
Appreciate it. Item B, Transportation Development District, page 24. The meeting was canceled. Reports of city officials, city administrator.
So I have several items. The first thing will be the most important thing to City Hall staff. Home heating and cooling showed up today, and they are going to start installing our new air conditioner next week. So we are very excited. They got a very warm welcome when they came in here. They said that parts of it have come in, but not the whole system yet. So they anticipate it'll probably take all of August to get it installed, and they're hopeful that come September, we will be back at City Hall. So I just want to let you know that we are making progress on that finally. The next thing I want to point out is at your spot is a flyer for online bill pay and a new pay by phone system. So one thing that we have been trying to do is make paying your bill, your water bill, more efficient. And currently, the water billing clerk or whoever happens to answer that phone manually takes the credit card number and punches it into the system. And if you have ever tried to call the water department on the day that bills are due, you will not get through. It's just not gonna happen. So this is going to be a new system. There's two options. There's the pay online and then the pay by phone. They'll both be automated systems. And the thing that we want to say is that this is a change, and that you cannot, once we have this system in place on August 15th, you cannot call the local office. We will not take your credit card over the phone anymore. You're going to need to call this 855 number. This is going out to every single water customer. So if you look at the backside, we're ready to mail it. We're doing training tomorrow, and then we're going to mail these out. The online one, you can create an account and pay. And I think we talked about this when we talked about budget cycle, but on this system, the city will be eating all of the transaction fees. So we will be paying all of that transaction fee. So if you try to pay your Ameren bill online, they'll say there's a 3% transaction fee. We are not passing these on to the customer since we currently don't do that. So that is going out in the mail August 15th, or it's going out this week, and then it changes to August 15th as this new system. So I'm hoping that it'll make everybody's lives smoother and easier, both citizens and staff. If you guys have questions, and actually you can pay by phone now. We tested it out. So if you're curious how it works, go for it. The last thing is I'm going to have Paul come up and talk about this, but at your place is a quote for a remote control lawnmower that is capable of mowing extremely steep hill slides. On the back page, you'll see we actually applied to Missouri Employers Mutual, which is our workers' comp carrier, for a grant, and they've provided us $10,000 to offset this cost. And the reason why is we've had at least 2 incidents where on our most steep hillsides we've rolled our mowers. And so it does present a worker safety issue. This will enable us to just run the little RC, I shouldn't say little, the significant RC lawnmower. But I just want you to know this quote is valid through 8/8. So we are hoping, and you can ask Paul all the questions you want, that you will approve this so we can lock in this price, and we'll do the purchase order tomorrow. If you have any questions about the mower, ask Paul.
Anybody have any questions?
Do we have someone that's good to operate this?
There'll be 2 of us that will operate it, starting off, just to go through the training. So
Okay.
we had a guy come and did the demonstration when we looked at it, and we did a day, well, I won't say a total day, by the time they go through all the process, we played around with it for about 4 hours, so. But, yeah, it's not something that just anybody will run, so.
How'd you feel about it in that time?
I was pretty comfortable with it. I looked at several different options, and this was one of the better options. This is really the only company that makes one with this design. It's like you can get a lot of them that are smaller, more compact, but they're not really made for the steep inclines like this one is, so.
What kind of warranty comes with this?
It's a 1-year warranty. It's all that comes with the mower itself.
Is this one you can Bluetooth and set your route
No,
and let
you
it go,
can-
or do you use it
No, this is
remote?
all controlled through a remote that hangs around your neck. It's got 1,000 feet, that you can go up to 1,000 feet. If it does, it's got a lot of safety issues. If it does a rollover, it automatically shuts off. There's a lot of different safety
Be a
features.
good one for Kendall.
And back to your warranty issue, even your mowers that you buy, that we buy through site, the only thing you're gonna get is a 1-year warranty.
Right, they're going down
Yeah,
some 90
nothing.
days.
Yeah. That's cool for the team.
Easy question. What color is it?
Yeah, that's important.
It's
Red.
red.
Whoa.
And the 10 is not applied to this?
Yeah, so it'll take off the 10, so we'll be.
Yeah, the 10,000, and that's another, because the 10,000 that we get through the grant has to be used by September 22nd. That's another reason why it's not like we're trying to push it through, so.
So some of your big mowers are probably running 30 grand by now, aren't they?
The biggest mower we have runs 60,000.
Okay, that's another good point.
Was the
You get a
engine
motion,
built in
Mike?
Boonville?
Yeah,
I will do
I
that.
mean, it is
Okay.
Kawasaki.
You got a second?
Yep, I'll second it.
Okay, Mike's first, Barry's second. Any more discussion?
So it's gonna cost closer to 30,000.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Roll call.
Keller,
Yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes.
Stock,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
You got it, Paul. Nice work, sir. Go ahead.
That's all I have.
That's it?
That's enough
done?
for today.
Okay, page 26. And then need a motion to approve Philip Bechtold.
I do have a bullet, but I haven't put the bullet item down there. I forgot. See, I had to fill in all my
I thought
other,
I was
I
the
had all
only
my
one.
pen,
I'm the
and I
only one
missed
that
this
makes
one.
mistakes.
This was the really important one, sorry.
We got a motion in a second.
She already roll called it.
You got it all done?
Yeah, we're done.
Okay, all right, go.
I have a typed bullet on real and property tax collection for 2022, and I guess I need some direction from you guys. Just before I went on vacation, Jennifer called me and said that the attorney from the county had reached out to us in regards to tax collection. So what they have proposed for 1 year is if the city will sign an agreement with the county and the collector, and the taxes will be extended through the collector's office for 2022.
I'm sorry, Kate, the city's collector's office or the county's collector's?
The county collector office, so she will extend and collect. We will do it for no additional money, and then she will take care of that for 22, and then we can see what happens for 23. The other option, I'll be honest with you, is we collect our own. So I guess no pressure, but I sort of need a direction if we want another 1 year plan. And Jennifer has said that in her case review, that the commission has the authority to reassign duties. That was something we talked about at our meeting a couple weeks ago. So this would be within the commissioner's purview to do this. So I guess my question is, I have Doug working on ordinances for the city to collect their own, and if that's the direction you want me to go, then we will continue to proceed. If you want me to shift gears to a 1 year sort of stopgap measure for 22 until next year, I can do that also. To be honest with you, the county is probably it's the best steward of the money.
Help me, can you repeat, the offer was the county clerk extends taxes. No,
County collector.
County collector.
Sarah's not in it at all.
Okay, so is there any issue with that, with the collector's responsibility doing that? Do we have any legal issues with that happening?
No, so that's where Jennifer has said that the commission has the authority to reassign duties to different elected officials at their prerogative. There's probably more to that, I don't want to.
In other words, the commissioners will assign it to the collector.
This is removing the.
So we're taking the county clerk away from this particular role at the behest of the county commissioners
There you go.
Yes.
For
Yes.
1 year.
for a year,
For 1 year.
okay?
So when these county officials are voted in, don't they have a set of job descriptions? There's gotta be something there.
Yeah, and I'm not a lawyer, I'm not the lawyer, but what I just know that, like I said, that, and if you were at the previous meeting when Jennifer laid out all those options, she talked about that there was some case history where an elected official was given other duties over and beyond their elected capacity for whatever reason, so, and that the law had been supportive of that effort. The courts.
What if it takes it away from another one though?
We're not a part of that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mayor, I make a motion that the county, we extend to the county collectors.
Do I hear a second?
I will second that.
All right, roll call.
We're talking,
Oh, he's
You got more discussion?
No,
I'll just let you know if that's the consensus. I don't even really need a vote tonight. I mean, you can vote, that's fine, but we'll bring forward a resolution of a new agreement. So there'll be an additional agreement that will be drafted, and I will bring that at the next council meeting on the 15th, I think.
Give me a voice vote. All in favor?
But this does not increase the 1.5% that we give the collector.
No, it does not.
Okay. I don't understand why we wouldn't
No
agree with
additional
this.
cost, right?
Right.
No additional cost.
okay. That really gives us a year to put something else in place, that we can use going
Or,
forward.
yeah, well, we can negotiate with the new,
It could be, who knows?
That might be
either one.
possible too.
Yeah, well, I think we're there.
It gets us through the 2022 hurdle that we were facing and on the other side of elections, which may change the outcome or not.
Okay.
Voice vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Any opposed?
I oppose.
thank you, sorry.
There you go, Steve. Good for
I
you.
always wanted to do that.
No, I really.
No,
didn't.
you really done?
No, really.
Okay, I have one committee appointment to approve. Philip Bechtold for Transportation Development District Committee. Can I have a motion to approve that?
So moved.
Second.
First, second, roll call.
Coward,
Yes.
Carville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Kimball,
Yes.
Turner,
Yes,
Scott,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
I'd like to add my thank you to Cheryl. It's good that you're involved and you're enthused about it. And it sounds like you got a motivator at home. City Clerk? Okay. Miscellaneous?
I got one.
Steve, go.
Now that we can go through Harley Park, I mean, I don't know how many of us went and played baseball, but I grew up playing baseball out at Harley Park. When I was a kid, they'd tell us how good Twillman Field was. That was the third best ball diamond in the state behind St. Louis and Kansas City, the professional ball fields. And, you know, the park department, I mean, some of the walls out there, they've done some nice work with retaining walls and everything else. But that chain link fence out there stinks. They have people come in and play tournaments there and stuff, but that chain link fence out there just looks terrible.
The one that's on the Harley
Yeah,
Park side?
and Paul thought it's been out there since the 60s. And I know it was out there when I was in
Surprised.
That's gotta be right.
Wouldn't be surprised.
But you see these concrete sticking out of the ground and the sidewalks look terrible, especially down at Little League.
Yeah.
Man, I wish we could spend some of the soccer money on the baseball field.
He said it.
Is that a motion?
This is two messages in one.
Well, I mean, Michael probably played out there, so,
I'm fourth generation.
yeah, so,
My kid, my
Stock
son
Brothers
was.
all played out there.
Well, we just had that big 9U.
Yeah, tournament out there.
Last weekend,
Parks
yeah.
Department was cleaning it up.
They had a tournament
Yeah,
last
Sunday
weekend
morning.
before at Rolling Hills. It was 12U. Yeah, they went on. They're going to the World Series.
Yeah.
Right.
12U one weekend, then 9U was
9U
the next.
one.
But, nice fence out there would really dress that place up.
Sounds like it's on the list.
Yeah. Hey, I was one of the first ones to wear pinstripes for Quinlan Agency.
Whoa. Wow. That's impressive. Any other miscellaneous?
Go vote tomorrow, if you want to vote.
Yeah, go
Yep.
vote, go
Go
vote.
vote.
Vote. You
Go
done
vote.
vote, guys.
Is there a motion?
Steve?
Oh, motion to
Boy, you're
adjourn.
slacking, man.
Spending too much energy there.
Mike's got the second. All right, everybody stand up and go.